My daughter was out of control and acting up every day. I tried everything, and nothing worked, so I had to make the hardest life decision. I have made the hardest decision of my life. I have raised my daughter, 12F, for 6 years. She has had 3 weekly phone calls and 4 hours of monthly supervised visitation. The following timeline may be out of order, but I am a mess. I am just trying to pull through. She loves her mother, and I did not stand in the way. There were broken promises, including her sisters not coming to the supervised visits and birthday/Christmas presents never received. I gave our daughter everything she wanted and needed, so the disappointment never lasted. After the divorce and custody were finalized, I sold my house and moved in with my mother. I work in the oil field, and it took some time to reach a position where I'm home every night. Her mother would continually drag me to court, trying to get custody back. False accusations flew. Police and CYFD involvement was always a threat, but the allegations were always unfounded. She eventually stepped over the line. I can handle abuse allegations. I can handle neglect allegations. I will never forgive an allegation of SA. The judge listened to the ex-wife's testimony and tossed it out before my attorney, and I said a word. Her mother never once tried to get the restrictions lifted in those 6 years. It was always a complete bore. Give me custody. A couple of years ago, everything started falling apart. My daughter had gotten into an argument with my mother and assaulted her, then ran away. She was found, brought home, and therapy started. She then teamed up with neighborhood boys to bully the little boy next door. She recorded them taking his shoes and throwing them on the roof of a park building. She can be heard laughing and egging them on. She ran away again when the little boy told his mother. I was called, left work, and came back to town. The police and I located her. I had to restrain her while getting kicked and hit in the head with a rock. The officer brought her guidance counselor to the scene, and she helped talk her down and come home. One day, after getting home from work, my mother had some videos for me to watch. It was my daughter absolutely wailing on her dog. The security camera caught it all. I asked her about it. She denied it. I showed her the video. She ran away again. Police were called, and we eventually located her. We took a spontaneous trip to Six Flags. Her maternal grandparents had taken her sisters, and she wanted to go. While there, I received a phone call from my very upset mother. A lot of her jewelry was missing, including an expensive necklace given to her by her deceased father. I asked my daughter about it. She denied any knowledge. Once we arrived home, I asked about the jewelry again, but it was dismissed. I went through her belongings and found most of them, but not the necklace. Mixed in with these incidents was her getting sexually explicit texts from a 13-year-old boy. I notified his father, blocked him on her devices, and discussed appropriate discussions with her. Then, a 17-year-old boy popped up, sending her explicit pictures. Blocked as well. She did not take this well but seemed to get over it. And she got in trouble at school for something. I don't remember what happened next because of what happened next. She accused her cousin of SAing her. I stood by her through it and supported her. It was determined to be false. While looking for the necklace, my mother realized her emergency cell phone was missing. I asked my daughter if she knew where it would be, and she denied it. I pinged the phone, heard it go off, and the ping stopped. She had got to it first and reset it. I found the necklace as well. She tried to run away. I held her until the police arrived. I had her sent to a behavioral health facility for an assessment. The average stay is 7 days. She spent 45 minutes there because she would act out every time she was told her release day was coming. Usually, cutting herself or assaulting other patients. This would extend her stay. We had gotten referrals to some residential treatment facilities, but she seemed better, so we put them on hold. When she got released, all seemed well. I had her guidance counselor and therapist assist. Medication management seemed to be going well. Then D-Day happened. I get a call from the school. I am needed immediately. I returned to town, and she had stolen a vape from my work truck. When she was caught at school with it, she pulled out a piece of glass, put it on the principal's desk, and threatened to kill herself. We get back home and sit across from each other. I ask her to take off her shoes. She comments on running away. I go to take her shoes off and get kicked in the nuts many times. She is fighting me, so I sit on her. The police arrive, and I send her to the ER to get a referral to the behavioral health facility. She refuses to travel with me to go there after the referral is obtained. I call her mother for assistance, and her mother transports her. Before her first visit to the facility, her mother had finally requested more parenting time. There was an 11 to 702 appointment, and the day before her first meeting with my daughter, I sent her to the facility. During the second visit to the behavioral health facility, I talked to the 11 to 702 and the ex-wife, and I agreed to allow her to be released to my ex. I was uncomfortable with her in my mother's house and had no options then. However, within a week, I had a position change at work, lined up to work from home, and had located a new place to live. This would be temporary if she were released before new referrals were obtained. The 11 to 702 told my ex to get an injunction to stop me from getting my daughter or sending her to an RTC. After much arguing, I gave up. My ex got a TPO and reported me to CYFD, claiming abuse after she retrieved her. Investigations happened. TPO was dropped within a week. CYFD closed the investigation with a letter they sent saying nothing happened. I don't remember the letter's name. Since getting our daughter, my ex-wife has had to send her to the facility as well. She was cutting herself and ran away. All seems well now since the release. She refuses to talk to her about any of the incidents that happened when she was with me. My boss found my 40-plus-year-old ass crying in my workspace today. I had broached the subject with my attorney of adoption a while back. My daughter wants nothing to do with me. Hates me right now. She wants me to die. Wishes I would disappear. How do I know? Our last phone call, October 15, 2024. She let me know this. With her mother and the 11 to 702 monitoring the call. I haven't talked to her since on order of the 11 to 702. Today, my attorney called me. My ex-husband has signed the paperwork, which will come to me in a few days. Emotionally, I'm destroyed. I am making this decision I don't want to make, but I'm going to do it. I do not see how I can parent her when she has learned she can accuse me of things and get out of whatever situation she is in. Her mother got the TPO based on my daughter's word. There were police body cams, which I obtained, and the TPO went before the court. SIPT was involved because she made abuse allegations while in the facility. CYFD decided they were unfounded as well. Good luck to my ex, her husband, and his sons. If they had not shut me down so completely, they may also know these things. Maybe it's my fault. Perhaps I spoiled her. Possibly, she had too many chores. Maybe it was pushing her to excel in school. Or the shopping trips and excursions across the country every 2 weeks to wherever she wanted. I know I was a firm father, but I was not abusive. I could be loud, but I was not physical until I had to stop her from running away. The 11 to 702 says I should have let her run away both times. I disagree, and it no longer matters. I hope to push through this and come out fine at the end. I will always try to be there for her. If the thought of the paperwork affects me this much, I'm afraid of how I will feel when I have it in my hands. These are just the cliff notes. 2 years of our lives condensed down to the painful parts.